A group of people in Palm say their neighborhood isn't safe for the disabled, and they say it's because none of their sidewalks have curb cuts, which allows those with wheelchairs and walkers to cross the street safely.
On Your Side's Christine Lazar joins us now with their story. Christine, this could be a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem throughout the city. It is. I'm sure you've encountered those times where, you know, you have to step off a large curb. I know when I had small kids in a stroller, I would have to navigate that. But imagine doing it in a wheelchair or an electric wheelchair that weighs so much. And this neighborhood, you know, is typically walkable, but not for those who have disabilities. Now, the city has estimated it would cost more than $1 billion and take 30 years to fix its sidewalks so they're accessible to all residents. Well, one neighborhood in Palm says their disabled residents are forced to either stay home or risk their lives to get around. We watched as a man in a wheelchair crossed National Boulevard, narrowly missing passing cars. It's a dangerous path, one his neighbors say he faces daily, because the sidewalks at the crosswalks on this stretch of road don't have ramps, also known as curb cuts.
I'm scared to death.
Longtime resident and president of the Motor Avenue Improvement Association, Lee Wallach, says his community has been asking for the sidewalks to be accessible for all for years.
We need someone to push for the most needy among us, and that's these residents. They can't get around.
It makes life difficult. See, look how high the curbs are.
This is Kathy Spots. She's lived in her Palms apartment for more than 40 years. But to walk her neighborhood,
I kind of push off from the pole.
You want to take my hand? She must carefully navigate the sidewalks to keep from falling. Kathy uses a cane due to advanced arthritis. She wrote a letter to the city 3 years ago and says she was promised back then that there was money allotted for curb cuts at the crosswalks on National at Mentone and Rose.
And I thought it was all going to be in hand, and all of a sudden nothing happened. I don't know if they hit some kind of a snag.
Clear the traffic. Clear the traffic.
Denise Sweeney's partner Marty George is in a wheelchair due to a prolonged illness. Without access to the crosswalks, the pair are mostly homebound.
I'd like to get around and because I sit in the apartment otherwise and can't move.
Sweeney has been filing requests with the city for months to try to fix the problem. Marty's therapy is only a block away, but they can't get there safely without driving.
And in order to get there, we have to get him into the car, out of the chair, into the car, drive a block, park, get him out of the car, into the chair, so he can go to therapy. Whereas if we could walk there, it would be so much easier for everybody.
Federal law under the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, requires sidewalks to be accessible to all. The city of LA settled the class action lawsuit in 2015 and committed to making sweeping repairs to bring its sidewalks into ADA compliance. But right now, the wait for access requests with Safe Sidewalks LA is between 3 and 10 years.
This isn't something about beautification. This is something about their quality of life.
I did reach out to both Councilwoman Yaroslavsky's office and the Bureau of Engineering last week and really didn't get much from either office. A spokesman for the Councilwoman did tell me they were first made aware of the request for curb cuts in May, and they've been working to see what can be done to make the intersection accessible to all. But when I pressed for some sort of timeline, also for some numbers like how many pending requests you have, no one was able to get back to me. My deadline was blown several times, so we'll just keep on top of this. I do want to say, you know, we really try to provide solutions for people. If this is happening in your area, file those 311 requests. Contact your council person, be the squeaky wheel, because there are so many that need to be fixed, and the priority is going to go to those neighborhoods that are the loudest. That's just the reality of it.
That's what happens, yeah.
That's what happens. But it's really tough. You know, everybody should be able to get around their neighborhood and not have to, you know, it's not easy to get into a car when you're in a wheelchair. And if you just like to go out and, you know, grab a bite to eat or go to your therapy that's only a block away,
like
you know, instead of having to get in a car and rely on your partner to get you there every day.
Do we know how much it costs to do these?
I don't know about one specific curb cut. I was a little surprised a brand new apartment complex went in right on that sidewalk, and I'm like, why weren't they forced to fix this sidewalk and bring it up to compliance? So that's another question I have.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, get some answers for us.
All right,
like
thanks,
you always
Jamie.
do. Christine, thank you.